Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to April. Now, last month we had this setup ready to roll and nothing materialized for work. However, this month we do have 3 contracts. So we will be taking the sprayer and the spray trailer out, and we will be knocking down some serious acres. We take a look at the contracts page here. We have first field, 21 acres, second field, 33 acres, and the next field at 16. So we have quite a few acres that we'll need to knock out today with just this bit of equipment. However, that's not all we're doing. Now, if you remember in the last episode, we were going to try and plant sorghum in the field behind the house. We are going to get to that today. We have the 8R hooked up to the all-in-one or integrated seeder here. And we are going to knock this field out with that. We're not going to use the big seeder just because if you take a look at the south side of this field here, there we go. We've got some pretty uneven ground here, and this is going to be a bit of a challenge to get the big articulated tractor through here. Huge toolbar and the air cart. So we're just going to play it safe and use the medium-sized sprayer on this. The big sprayer will be taken down the road. Take a look at our map here. This is the field behind the house. So it is this little section here that's stopping us from using that big toolbar over near the pigsty, but we will be taking that down to field 23 and we will be putting something in there today. I'm thinking oats. And I'll tell you why oats. Because it yields really well. I have the equipment for it and I can drop a straw swath for it. So that'll keep the piggies bedded and that'll keep the cows both fed and bedded. Plus, I can sell the oats after, or if you guys are interested, we could probably pick up a few horses and that'll comfortably feed the horses. Now, I do kind of want to save 22 for wheat so that I can feed the chickens without having to buy chicken food. But right now, if we run and take a look at them, I put 4,000 liters of wheat in there at the beginning. I'll bring up the screen here and you can see they still have 35.50 after a month. So like they barely touch food. And we do already have one little crate of eggs. So these little guys, even though they're only a month old, they're already producing, which is amazing. But yeah, that's what we've got going on today. You see the bank account, we're at 694,062. Before we can get out into the field here, we do have to wait for the ground to dry up. We've got, as you can see, a very gorgeous fog hanging over the land right now, and that is currently keeping everything a little too wet. So we're going to wait for things to dry up a little bit before we go out and hit the fields, just because everything's going to be sticky tacky and horrible. And we are going to run down to the auction. We are going to buy another tractor. I know, it's not a harvester. We need a harvester, but we don't need a harvester right now. What we do need is we do need a tractor, because what I'm having to do to feed the cattle, I know I've got 3 tractors, but I want one more. What I'm having to do to feed the cattle is load them up with the 7R here. I've got all the bales set aside here. I got to stick them in 2, maybe 3 at a time, hook the tractor up, run the silo king, mix what I've got, disconnect it, load up the more bales, and then connect the tractor to the silo king, finish mixing everything, and then drive it over. I'd much rather just have a second tractor for that. And I don't think this needs a whole lot of, where are we here, animals. I was just looking at it. It only needs 100 horse, so it really doesn't need much. So we're going to run down to the auction. We're going to see what's there. If there's something there that I take a fancy to, I'll have it shipped over here. So that is what we are going to do first off. I will meet you down at the auction. All right, here we are at the auction. One thing we should definitely check is the sales for the day. And There is a real good grain cart out there. I do definitely need a grain cart. However, I don't need one right now. So I also don't have a harvester for it. Nothing else jumping out at me as useful. So, what's capacity on this? 45,000, 50,000, yeah. So for the extra couple of bucks, I think I'd rather have this than that. Yeah. Let's see what we've got here. I want something with around 100 horse. We'll start down at this end here. And I would like something with a loader, just to save a little bit of hassle. And I'm a deer man at heart, but at the same time, like, I'm not absolutely married to the brand. I wouldn't mind a little New Holland, a little Kubota. It'd be all right. Definitely don't need anything this big. This is neat. Comes with a silage bucket. That would be fun. I don't think this guy's even got 100 horse, does he? What is he? 6210. Yeah, he's got over 100. Well, let's go talk to the guys and see what this fast track is going for, because that's kind of an interesting unit. Well, there it went. That's too good of a deal. 122, so I'm getting a free loader, free bucket. I didn't look at how much off it is. But... well, let's see, what is this? This is a 4220. What's she going for new in the store? Probably under medium, I would imagine. $42.20 is 196,000. Yeah, so got quite a few bucks off of this. We'll go roll it over to their little pad here. They are going to go through the pre-delivery, make sure that everything is documented and everything is running on it. And then we'll have that brought up to the farm. So we'll see that here shortly at the farm. In the meantime, I don't have a whole lot to do, so I'm going to go back home, make sure that everything's rocking and rolling, ready to go. And we will see you guys when we are ready to do some field work. All right, so it's been a little while here. I was just stopping at the Tim Hortons, drinking some delicious swill, he said facetiously. For the record, I hate Tim Hortons. It is awful. But I was chatting up with the cop there. You see he's parked at the other end. His brother, Zach, he's running a little bit behind on his tillage, and he asked me very nicely if I could run some tillage for him. Now, of course, I am quite busy today myself, but the field is right beside my house, so I'm not going to turn it down. So we've picked up an extra contract today. We will do our damnedest to get all of it done today, which means we gotta go. And I'm going to start by putting in my own crops. All right, so I passed a transport truck on the way in, which I'm hoping used to have a JCB on it. We'll find out shortly. Yeah, I gotta get that thing going. Gotta get this thing going. Yeah, there's a JCB. All right, so that's also parked in my truck's spot. So I guess I'll just park this. Oh, throw it in the shop. Why not? It's out of the way. It's out of the sun. Just park it near the back here. Good enough. All right. I feel like I got me a case of the gotta goes. So that field that I was just talking about, I'm going to check here. That is field 21. It's right around 30 acres. And like I said, it's right next to the farm. Hey, it's me. I'm editing this video right now, and I'm noticing that there's a lot of cricket sounds in the background of my audio, and there's nothing I can do to get rid of it without completely skewing my audio and making it sound terrible. So yeah, sorry. We have a couple of geckos, and we feed them crickets once in a while, and one of those crickets was just going absolutely nuts in the office here. So it has since been fed to the geckos and shouldn't be an issue anymore. But yeah, sorry about that. Enjoy the little cricket chirps in the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hammer out field 16 and I'm going to hammer out field 23 as fast as I can. Use each tractor for that. And then I'm going to start on some tillage for 21 because I think that's going to take me the longest. The spraying, I swear, is probably only going to take me a few minutes each field. So, and like I say, the first field is like right next to home. So I'm just going to fill up the machine, run down, spray it, and done. So, gotta go. So we have a bit of a problem with the fields here. I'm noticing this is becoming a almost a consistent issue. So what's happening is the ground is so rough that the implements are not making contact and it's not registering. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run soften along all of these areas. And may as well just do the whole field. Heck. So many spots that get missed. And it doesn't look like it's taking the crop away or doing any damage to it. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to touch all of this. I'm feeling like if the seeder is having problems, then I'm also going to have problems with combine later. This is, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it pretty clear here, but YouTube compression might take it out. This is a pretty aggressive little, I guess you'd call it a knoll. See if we can smooth this down just a little bit. I feel like this is cheating, but like, man, with Farm Sim, you cannot adjust the equipment, so you got to adjust the ground. Like, there's a big skip here too. Bump this up and strengthen it a little bit. So I feel like, you know, in real life, you can hit something a few different times kind of thing, and you can get a few different results out of it. You can lower pressures, you can increase ground pressure. Can't do any of that in Farm Sims, so I'm gonna hit the ground, and hopefully, I see this all mellowing out here. Hopefully this works out for me later. I'm gonna manually run the tractor back over this in a few minutes and see if that doesn't help it. I'm also gonna go hit that little spot potato field. See this? See this? This drives me nuts. Okay. We'll just massage the field a little bit, work the knots out. Hopefully it's okay. That might be another reason why this never made it to the mod hub. I mean, obviously branding is a big thing, but it's polished passes like this where I really like the maps that are in the mod hub, you never really have to worry about this. Let's see, is there anywhere else that's pretty... Yeah. I may as well go over the whole field. I'm just letting my AI lookalike go through the field here and grab all of this, but I just give you a little behind the scenes here. I feel it's probably fair. And then we'll jump back into the storytelling shortly. All right, welcome to the stress. I hope this toolbar fits through here and still somehow make the turn. Swing this a little bit wide, everything should follow. Yeah, dipping the duels into the creek. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Nice and stressful. And this field here, just kitty corner to ours, that's the one we're going to go and till a little bit later. We're going to go hit it with that big Kinsey mock till, a nice shallow cultivator. It's coming. Shouldn't be anybody. There isn't. All right, let's go. And here we are. We are just finished all of our seeding actually is done for the year. And we're just heading back to home. Switch the seeder that we've still got on the back of this thing out for the big cultivator. We're going to get the officer's brother, Zach, I believe his name was. We're going to get his field hammered out here pretty quick, and then we'll get on to the spray jobs, of which this canola field beside us here is going to be our first. solves us for this field. So Zach's emergency rush job is done. We're going to get this all folded up. Going to get this hauled home, and we're going to switch over to spraying. Now, we do have 3 fields to spray, one of which is right beside the house. Another one is actually across the Mississippi, across state lines. So we'll probably end up doing that one last. And I think we'll probably finish off the episode there, but I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. If you do, don't forget to subscribe. And if you are liking what you see, make sure to leave a like. And let me know down in the comments if there's anything else you guys would like to see. But we will meet you back at the yard, and we'll get this all switched out and ready to go. All right, we are filled up using that fancy dash trailer system. Let's go head over to the field beside us. Let's get that cranked out nice and quick, and then we'll head down across state lines. I'm not taking the trailer with me to do that one. So I'll run back, refill, go out there, spray, and then hit the 3rd field on the way back. And if I need to, I'll drive the trailer out to there. I think that's going to be the plan. Let's get out into this canola field. Make sure the tires are out. Make sure we're clear of those power lines. Let's get the booms kicked out. And there we go. I'm just going to finish this last little pass off here. And that is the contract completed. And you can see, I don't quite have a full boom width here between the 2 passes, but that's okay. That's what section control is for. And we barely used a half a tank. Or, well, I guess we used a little more than a half a tank here. So we'll go refill. And go make the fairly long drive. Wing up here where we've got plenty of room for crossing under those power lines. Those power lines have just been a problem for me all day. I've cut out a few spots here and there where I've run into them with the cedar, but yeah. I think so far today, I think we've made some really, really good progress. Let's see, we've got all of our potatoes in. We've got our alfalfa in. I should probably get my wheels in here. There we go. Got our oats in. We've done 2 fields of oats. I'll have to look at the numbers here to see just how much that actually is. But I would suspect probably around 40 acres of oats. All right, that should be nice and close. Hop into the truck here. And we will... Never remember if it's I and then R. It is I and then R. Okay. Now we'll jump back into this and it should be full. No, it's not. I'm just not close enough. Ooh. I should be able to... Oh! Interesting. Yeah, okay. So that fills the dash. Don't want to overload. Or I don't want to unload, I want to overload. Which tells me I think this is wrong. I think it does actually need to be facing the dash. Because this is how I had it last time, and I hopped in it and it was just magically full. So let's see if this is... Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. Figured it out. All right, let's shut this down. Okay. So yeah, that wasn't actually too bad. How are we doing on fuel? Fuel, we got plenty for the trip. All right. Make sure we got our lights on for the road. We'll turn beacons and flashers on once we get onto the highway. Yeah. This is gonna be a trek. Yeah, let's see, where exactly are we going here? 21, we just did that. That was our cultivation field. 19, we just did that. That was our spray field. God, that thing is just such an awkward shape. We do have one way down here on the south end. We'll get to that. That'll be the last field we do. And I'm going by the size here. Yeah, we should be able to squeeze that in one tank. Definitely be able to squeeze this in one tank. This is nice and awkward too. So we'll be going down into town, crossing the bridge, taking the first left out of there and taking that all the way down to the field. And there we are. We are done. And we still have over a half a tank left. So we had tons of capacity. Definitely did not need to bring the spray trailer up here. Glad I didn't. We'll get this thing winged up and I guess winged back in. Take the long drive home and we'll go hit that last field for the day. Go, right side's looking good. Left side is looking good. Almost intimidating watching that big boom swing in towards your face. There we go, and we'll suck the wheels back in once we get down off this berm. I did not see a proper approach for this field, which is kind of concerning, but this did work out not too bad. All right, wheels tucked in. There we are. Out. Find the highway again. Actually, I'm going to stop in at this farm here quickly before we go all the way home. Go talk to the guy real quick. see if I can't get a little bit of travel expenses here, because we did have to cross state lines for this. All right, just put her off in the weeds here. That way any traffic that's coming by, I don't think it would be much, but if there is anything. All right, let's go have a chat. Okay, there we go. $10,226. I did miss it. I was a little too slow. He did give me $600 for travel expenses, so good man. All right. Get back out onto the road. We got one more field to hit. Okay, we are loaded up, ready to go for our third and final field of spraying today. I would have to spray my own fields, but thankfully, that big seed hawk that you see up on the left-hand side there, that thing does granular fertilizer and seed at the same time, and it's got variable rate all across it, so all of my grain fields are perfect. Might have to go do my sorghum, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I should probably check in on my sorghum. Let's do that real quick before we get anywhere. Go up into precision farming. Where is she? Up here. And where's my field? Soil type, seed, yield, nitrogen. Nitrogen looks pretty happy to me. We don't have to touch it. The alfalfa here does not take anything because it is, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's one of those crops that makes its own nitrogen. It's what's called a nitrogen fixer. It's a legume kind of thing. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's got root nodules that create nitrogen. And when you till it in, you know, 7 to 10 years on average, I mean, if you talk to an agronomist, they say 3 years, but that's just throwing money away. Anyway, when you till it in, the root nodules break down and they release a ton of nitrogen. And because it's a nitrogen fixer, it doesn't need any on its own. So your next crop that goes in afterwards has got a really nice nitrogen boost if you time things correctly and you don't let it get too old. And, you know, eventually you do lose a lot of the alfalfa and it just becomes a grass crop. So you kind of gotta time it right, and that's why I say like 7 to 10 years, but we're not looking at that in farm sim. That's just a little bit of real life. So anyway, now that we've gone on that tangent, I now know I don't need to fertilize my sorghum crop. It is most likely within spec. We'll go take a look at it quick after this and see if it needs just a little top up, but I don't think it does. I think it's probably good. We'll just focus on getting this last field done, then we'll take care of the critters, and we'll introduce you to somebody new on the farm. This is going to be kind of like shower thoughts here, but sort of, but not really, because obviously it's not shower. We're in a cab of a sprayer while we're heading down the road. Just kind of jumping back on that idea with the alfalfa there and it not needing any fertilizer. Now that's not true. Farm Sim 22 only looks at nitrogen. Now, obviously alfalfa, just like any other plant, needs its basic, what we call macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur. But because we don't look at the potassium, the sulfur, the potash, we don't look at that in Farm Sim 22. It means it doesn't need fertilizer, but in real life it does. Like when you look at your NPKS, it does need its PKS. Of course, it does also need all of its micronutrients. But Farm Sim being as super limited as it is, we don't look at that. So we don't even get into fertilizer blends or anything like that. We just have two types. We have liquid and solid, and that's it. And I mean, for the most part, for being a fairly arcade game, like we're significantly limited by the audience rating for the game. I mean, it's rated E, and I should probably stop waffling because I think it's this next crop here. I'll check on the PDA here in a second. But FarmSim is significantly limited in its realism due to its age restriction, so it's rated E, as well as its console focus. So for us that run PC, I'm running a ton of scripts on this that increase realism, like precision farming is one of them. But there are so many factors. Before I go trampling this, let's check this. There are so many factors that you need to look at. Yeah, this is right. We cleared a wing out. We are cleared a wing out. So let's get this thing kicked out. There we go. There's so many factors to look at when farming. So you've got all kinds of insect pressure. You've got herbicide pressure, or herbicide, but weed pressure, which you can see this field has been sprayed with herbicide already. You can see the weeds are killed. You can see the crop is healthy. So many different factors in that. Like the fiber mod that I'm using right now, the dash mod, it has a bunch of different chemicals in it. Like you get, there's a couple of group 2s. I've got the list sitting right here. Why don't we just talk about this nice and quickly? I'll flash it up on the screen here. So we've got Enlist, Duo, Lontrell, Pixaro, Prestige, XL, Prominex, Resuviant, Simplicity, Stellar XL, and VP480. Now, a lot of these are group 4, which means that they're easy on your grasses, your grains, very, very hard on your broadleaf. So alfalfa, which is just super sickly and sensitive to everything anyway, but get into peas, you get into clover, it's on the tip of my tongue here, soybeans. You get into any of those and the group 4s just kill them. Unless you're spraying something that is specifically bred to be tolerant to that chemical. Plus that chemical is formulated to be easy on that breed of plant. But like, man, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. There's so many little intricacies to real life farming that FarmSim just doesn't touch. And I really hope 25 brings at least a couple of those in. Like I want to see a grass or a grain versus a broadleaf herbicide, and I want to see there be some kind of a penalty for spraying the wrong herbicide on the wrong crop, or at least have some kind of timing system where you can't spray certain chemicals at certain times or certain growth stages. But yeah, there's 1,000 things that are just completely omitted from FarmSim, and it drives me off the wall. I feel like a broken record. It's like I know I've talked about this before, and I know I'm going to talk about it again, but that's, you know what? One of those things that just drives me a little bit nuts every time. But let's get this hammered out here. Let's get this done, out of the way. And then I can rant about something else, I'm sure. All right. I probably want to actually stage myself the other way for 90 degrees. That way we're spraying the long way. And let's get our HUD brought up. Let's get our GPS tuned. You see, we are way off. It'll take a few minutes, I'm sure. There we go. There's the left edge coming up. Get that to meet with the crop edge. And there we go. We're pretty well lined up already, too. Okay. Get this rocking and rolling. field 47 finished, and you see I only have 677 liters left. That that was cutting her pretty tight. All right, get this thing folded up here. I didn't think we'd be that tight. I thought we'd still probably have maybe twice what we have left. I think I was budgeting somewhere in my head around 1,200 liters. But hey, you know what? We got her done in one shot. I didn't have to come back with the spray trailer. There we go. We're all buttoned up. Let's go home and introduce you to a new character on the series. I think I got a feeling you guys are gonna like him. All right, so we're just gonna leave the sprayer here. We'll get it all flushed out, washed out, ready for whatever we see next. Obviously, we've got the big iron sitting over here waiting to get washed before I leave it in the bin forever. Did park the trailer kind of like a donkey, so that's in the way. But let's see if we can't find our new farm member. Got to be around here somewhere. I know how to get his attention. The boy should come running somewhere. Maybe. Uh-oh. He is completely MIA. Stand by. All right, found him. He was having a nap out in the back of the yard here. But there he goes. Everybody, meet Oliver. I swear he's part ghost. He's a good boy. Just as dumb as Cash, if you guys remember Cash. But he's still a good boy. So I got him to protect the chickens. As our trail cameras have shown a few coyotes in the area, so. Got a big scary dog. Got some Rottweiler going on. Hopefully I don't have to go on a tirade and protect all the county's chickens. But anyway, let's go check on the cattle here. Bring up the HUD. Let's see, where's that info trigger at? Somewhere over here. There we go. 13,000 liters of food still. Slurry still over at 10. These old girls are looking good. Or old girls, they're a month old. And yet somehow they look fully grown. Good job, Farm Sim. Alright. Go check on the pigs nice and quickly, and we will end this episode. And pigs, just the same, are looking great. So, that's going to be all for us today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe and leave a like. And again, let me know down in the comments if there's anything else you guys want to see. If you're liking the episode so far, if you want to see something different, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.